Hello, hello. Happy Tuesday afternoon. Welcome to the afternoon stretch break. Super excited to get some stretching in today. If you have anything that is tight or anything that you want me to focus on at all, go ahead and drop that in the chat box and I'll add that into what we are going to be doing today. So take a second to do so. If you'd like quads and hip flexors, I can definitely add some of that in there. Okay, awesome. I will keep an eye out on that if anyone has anything else to put in there. But we'll go ahead and get started. So we're going to start off today in standing. So we're going to make our way into your space. We're going to start standing. Feet, we're going to be about shoulder width apart. And what we're going to do first is we're going to go ahead and go straight into a forward fold. So pushing our hips back, and we're going to go ahead and bring our hands towards the ground. So trying to get them as close to the ground as you can. You can rest your hands on your feet or on your shins, whatever is most comfortable. But we're going to kind of sit here for a second. We're going to let our hamstrings get a nice stretch in there. And then we're gonna let gravity do its thing on our head, neck, and shoulders. So really letting our head hang as heavy as we can, feeling our body relax deeper into this stretch, feeling our head, neck, and shoulders get nice and long with each exhale. And while we're here, we're going to do one more big inhale. And then we're going to do a nice, slow, long exhale. And from here, we're going to go ahead and walk our hands over to one side. So we're going to get some stretching into each side. So I'm going to start with my left. I'm going to walk my hands over to the left side here. So again, if you can't reach the ground, that is totally fine. Go ahead and bring your hands to your shin or your ankle, your foot, whatever is available to you today. But go ahead and grab onto one side. And if you can, walk your hands out as far as you can. We should start to feel this stretch through our sides. So I'm feeling this more in my right side here, in the right part of the low back. Just getting a nice stretch here, breathing nice and deep into the chest, feeling our sides expand, slowly exhaling, feeling our body calm down a little bit here. And let's go ahead and do one more big inhale. And slowly exhaling. From here, we're going to walk over to the other side. So I was on my left side first, and I'm going to walk over to the right side. Again, if you can't reach your feet today, if that's not available to you, go ahead and put your hands on the outside of your leg, on your right side, or your foot, whatever is available to you today. Making sure we're not getting too heavy of a stretch. We want a nice, light, medium stretch here in the side, through the back. We're also going to feel this a little bit through the hamstrings as well still. Nice big deep inhales into our sides, exhaling nice and slow. And one more big inhale. And slowly exhaling. And from here, we're going to walk our hands back to the center. And staying where we are, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and grab onto our big toes. And if you've been into one of my stretch breaks, you know what's about to come. We're going to do a couple deep squats here, okay? So we're going to hold onto our big toes. And from here, while we're holding onto our toes, we're going to bring our glutes down into a nice deep squat while we are still touching. By touching, I mean grabbing our toes. Where are my glasses? There they are. So we're sitting here for a second, still holding onto the toes, and then we're going to go ahead and stand back up. So pushing those hips up towards the ceiling again. We're going to do that a couple more times. So bringing those glutes down into a nice deep squat. This is going to be a nice hip flexor stretch, opening up those hips, counteracting sitting down at our desk for the day, and standing on up. And we're going to go ahead and do one more bringing those glutes down. And from here, we're gonna go ahead and stay here, okay? So try and get as comfortable as you can in this position. So I know this can be a really tough position to stay in, but we wanna make sure we can get as comfortable as we can, staying as low as we can in that squat. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna do a few rotations here. So while we are in this low squat position, we're gonna have our hands out in front. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna open up, rotating, bringing one hand up behind us and back down into that center position. So we're gonna alternate arms, opening up, bringing that hand directly behind us. Gaze is following that hand and back to center. So we're gonna do that 2 more times on each side, opening up. I know this one's really hard. Try and stay in that deep squat. Open up, rotating as much as we can. It's gonna help our hips, gonna help our spine here. Making sure we're not forgetting to breathe. We're gonna do 1 more on each side now. Rotating, opening up as much as we can. Making sure we're exhaling as we open up, reaching as far as high behind as we can, following the gaze with our thumb and back to center. And you guys can go ahead and stand up, shake your legs out, and we're gonna make our way onto the ground after that. So we're gonna go ahead and get into a nice shin box position from here. So we're getting a lot of hip work in today. So making our way onto the ground in our shin box. So one leg is going to be straight out in front and off to the side. Other leg is, again, 90-degree angles in our hips and in our knees. So my left leg is out in front. My right leg is out to the side. What we're going to do is we're going to do some bending here. So we're going to start off arms straight out to the side. We're going to bring our chest forward towards that front leg. And then we're going to use that core stand on, and by stand, I mean lean back to that starting position. And then we're going to open up here towards our back leg. So we're getting nice torso rotations here, back to center. And we're going to do that again. So we're leaning forward, keeping our knees and ankles on the ground as we rotate open on up. So this is going to give us a nice hip opening as well as some more rotation through that spine here. Awesome job, everyone. I know this is a little bit of a tougher exercise again. We're gonna do this one more time, bending forward, back up, and opening on up to that back leg. And back to center. Awesome. So before we do that same thing on the other side, we're gonna go ahead and do some internal, external rotation for that back leg. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna stay nice and tall in this position. We're gonna press the back heel down into the ground for about 3 seconds, and then we're gonna squeeze the glute and lift that heel up off the ground, okay? So going into the ground first, pushing the heel into the ground, pushing, pushing, squeezing our glute, and then we're gonna go ahead and squeeze and lift up as high as we can. And as you can see, my heel did not move. So if your heel did not move either, totally okay. We're gonna get better at this. So I we do it. I know it's hard, but we're just gonna get better at it. So we're pushing that heel into the ground, staying nice and tall, and then squeezing and trying lifting up as high as we can without moving our body forward. So as you can see, I'm staying nice and tall here, trying to lift that up. And we're gonna do one more pushing into the ground, push, 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 squeeze the glutes, and squeeze and lift while staying nice and tall. And placing that back on the ground. Sorry about the sirens there. That's what happens when you live in downtown. We're gonna go ahead and flip on over to the other side now. So we're going to do opposite leg in front. So now my right leg is out in front, knee straight out, 90-degree angle in the knee and the hip, 90-degree angle in the knee and the back leg as well. And we're gonna start off with those rotations first. So arms straight out to the side. And we're coming forward, bringing our chest towards that front leg as low as we can. Squeezing our core, squeezing the glutes, and then we're gonna rotate opening up towards that back leg. So really making sure those knees are staying on the ground as we go forward and up, and again as we rotate towards the side. You may notice one side is easier to rotate than the other. That's totally normal. That's why we're doing all this. We're gonna go ahead and do one more each way. So one more forward bend and one more turn to the side. Awesome. You guys are doing great. Okay, last thing we're going to do today, we're going to push our heel into the ground. We're going to lift it on up. So this is going to work on that hip, internal and external rotation. So first off, we're going to push that heel into the ground. So pushing the back knee into the ground, staying nice and tall, squeezing the glute, and then we're going to go ahead and lift that heel up as high as we can without moving forward. And again, this is where you may notice that one side is easier than the other. Totally normal. We're just going to work on that. So pushing that heel into the ground, push, 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 squeeze the glute, and then we're going to squeeze and lift as high as we can. Working on that internal rotation there. All right. Last one, y'all. Push into the ground, push, 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 push. And without leaning forward, lift up as high as we can. And place that back on the ground. Whew. Awesome job today, everyone. You can stay seated there. You can do kneeling, standing, however you'd like to end, but that's all we have time for. Thank you all so much for coming. I know that was a little bit of a tough one, but we worked on our hips a little bit today. So great job. Don't forget, we do have Luis's class later today at 4:30, abs and core. So don't miss out on that. You also find our whole group exercise schedule up on our SharePoint site, as well as all of our recorded classes and stretch breaks up on our YouTube channel. So check that out. Let us know if you have any questions. And thank you all for coming. And I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day.